All right. Brandon Simmons here with Creative Real Estate Live. I'm with a friend of mine, Brian Kingdeski. Brian is out here in Gilbert, Arizona, as well as am I. And he's been doing fix and flips for 22 years. Doesn't look old enough to be doing this for 22 years.
I'm old.
Done He's done over 1,800 flips. And he's really getting strong into the Airbnb market. And I wanted to kind of talk about a lease option deal that I locked up that I actually sold to Brian, and that Brian used as a rental and then an Airbnb. And now he's just kind of taking off on this. So what I want to do is, the whole reason why we're doing these recordings is just kind of talk about case studies, talk about strategies that people can be using in the real estate business. Like this one was a lease option deal that Brian did. And talk about how you can cash flow on these deals on property you don't even own. So, Brian, welcome. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. I'm going to just share my screen for a second. I kind of want to go over this property and kind of tell you a little bit about, tell the audience a little bit about how I found this. So at the time I was working with Sean Terry still. I was doing acquisitions and dispositions for him. And this was a lease option deal that we found. At the time, it was a FHA loan. It didn't have much equity at all. And the sellers were moving to New Mexico and they just wanted it out of the property. And so what we did, we decided just trying to help them out, trying to figure a way that we can still take care of them and maybe use it for one of my buyers. So what we did is we did a lease option assignment where we assigned the deal to Brian. It was a little lease option, and we did actually, here's the paperwork we used. It was a little short offer lease option form. We changed the terms on this. This just shows a 1-year lease option. We actually changed it to a 5-year lease option. Sold it to Brian for $5,000. Brian used it as a rental property and an Airbnb property. And then you flipped it, right?
Yeah. Then we flipped it. It was, perfect timing. Obviously over the years, markets don't go up like they did. And we've experienced a couple of them in my time. And, we got to just get out of it and move on to the next property. But that was a nice little deal for sure.
I think you had this one for about 3 years. Is that right? Roughly?
Yeah, I think so.
So you had it for a rental for a little while. And I think one of the nice things about this property is it's right on the border of Gilbert and Mesa, really close to Gilbert Road. And it's a pretty well-traveled area, but also had a pool in the backyard, right? So is that a good feature for Airbnb?
Yeah, I mean, for Airbnb world, you want at least a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a pool and no HOA. That's will kind of get you in the door with those. It's all about the number of people you can fit in there and sleep. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the minimum requirement that we have. You don't have to be in Scottsdale and Paradise Valley and all those places. You can do well in basically every city as long as it fits that criteria. There's just a need for, rooms in Arizona.
And so the criteria was no HOA.
Yes.
A 3-bedroom roughly or more?
4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. You can buy one, but you'll have to add to it, which we do all the time. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, but you can add on to it. But 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, no HOA with a pool.
Okay. So on this lease option deal that you had, it's a little bit different because you're so used with buying over 1,800 properties. You're just probably used to just funding everything. It's probably weird just to get in for $5,000.
Yes. It definitely helps.
I know you had to put some money into it and clean it up and make it look nice and stuff like that. What type of cash flow were you making off of that?
I mean, your numbers there that you had on your other screen were pretty accurate, with in my Airbnb world. When I went into it, I was just looking to make some positive cash flow, pay down the mortgage. The prices keep increasing and that was my play. It wasn't really focusing on, the monthly cash flow. For me, I was interested in the equity and just the upside of holding it. And that's kind of what we do now.
And that was a huge one. You got it for $240 and sold it for $355. So that was great. Congratulations.
Yep, absolutely. It was a really good one. So, but if if you're getting a property that the seller's financing and you can positive cash flow, then yeah, that's a great deal. And then you let the market do its thing and you hope it goes up and then you can cash out. So yeah, I'll take another 40 of those.
So, I'm running into more of these too. If I was trying to find more of these type of deals for you, I would look for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath or more.
2.5 bath.
2.5 bath. Okay. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. In nice areas, nice homes, right?
Yeah. Pool, and no
Pools
HOA.
are helpful.
Yeah,
Pools,
but
no HOA. Okay.
we've got a bunch of them, and our criteria has changed a little bit in the areas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, be successful in Avondale, Glendale, Phoenix,
Yeah.
Apache Junction, Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe.
Wow.
It doesn't really matter. The numbers on the cheaper ones, they're different, but it helps you because the renters, may be looking for a cheaper home. So
with 30, you have 30 plus of 30 of those right now.
Yeah.
Around
Yeah.
30. Okay. And
Yeah.
your goal is to hit 150, I think you said.
150 in 4.5 years. So
That's amazing.
We just started in February. So we've, been going crazy, as you can see, with 30 in that short period of time. So it's been interesting and been learning a lot. So
well, I think also as the market starts to change a little bit, we're kind of moving from this hyper sellers market out here in Phoenix, I think the prices went up 100% in like 2 years. It was crazy, huge appreciation. As we're going back, we may have some retraction and stuff like that, but properties may sit a little bit longer. You may start getting some sellers that are kind of like not want to be landlords, but they're going to become landlords because they can't really sell their property and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Could those make good Airbnbs if they're fit the criteria and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, if they've got the get a good term and stuff like that. It doesn't, you don't have to be 30% below market value and buying crap. You can, have a little nicer home that has less equity and it still makes sense. So
what do you see like, I know it varies probably from house to house and area to area, but what's a good percentage, would you say, or days it should be rented out for in a month in Airbnb?
So our summers are obviously our summers. So, like I said, we're new, doing it to the scale, doing it. But you're going to have less in the summer and you lower your prices, you get people in there, try to cover your expenses. And then, the wintertime, is crazy. Like the ones that we have, most of them are all booked, every weekend. Super Bowls booked and for crazy amounts. And so,
and what I love about what you're doing with your Airbnbs, you're doing themes to everything.
We are.
That's amazing. Are you managing all of your Airbnbs yourself, or do you have a management? What?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. We're doing everything. And that's what we, our plan is just to keep everything in house and package it and, hopefully sell it someday. So.
Oh, sell it as a business.
Sell it as a business.
Wow. Yep. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. It's almost like the hotel business or something.
We are in the hospitality business. So that's the warning. So like, we get, anywhere from 2 to 3 bookings a day. So, we're always having to respond to requests and inquiries and people asking questions. And, we want to be super host 5 stars. And so, you're in that business just as well as real estate. So
do you feel like capital maybe a constraint sometimes, like have enough capital buy all the properties you want?
We always need money. So we have a lot of private investors and, we're always looking for more. And, a lot of the people that we have been with us for most of my 22 years. So we've taken care of them and, some of them started with $100 grand and now they're well over $1 million that they have with me. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so, could always use more investors for sure.
What about using other strategy? Like I bought a lot of my rental properties I had back in the day were off of like seller carrybacks, like they were owned free and clear.
Yeah.
Just talked to the owner, they just became the bank.
Yeah.
Is that something that could help you out in your business too?
Yeah. I mean, we would, like I said, we would buy all we can get if it's meeting the criteria. So
Yeah.
for sure. I mean,
And
that
was a good little lease option deal. And that was something you didn't even own and you cash flowed on that one.
yeah. And made
So
a big chunk at the end. So
yeah, a huge chunk at the end. Yeah, not all of them are like that. I mean, to make it over 100K on a deal, on a lease option deal, that's a great, that's a home run. But you know, timing's everything too on that.
it's timing and, but even, the market is kind of crazy right now.
Mhm.
But even with that, if you're buying right today, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
In our flip business, we have, several homes that are listed on the market, and we're just trying to get rid of those and then recalibrate and buy fresh. So,
Right.
like the Iron Man movie, Tony, we're a weapons manufacturer, right? So they did weapons, real estate. I got to figure it out and keep buying. And that's the guys in markets like this, it's beneficial for me because a lot of people fall off. The fix and flip guys go away, and I see more deals and get more deals. And I've had people call me and text me that I haven't heard from in years, and they're like, "You still buying?" I'm like, "Yeah, send me your deals."
Yeah. I mean, I've sold you deals over the years, like nonstop. And that was why whenever I got that lease option deal, I remember we were talking, you were wanting to get it to Airbnbs and asking about a house with the pool. I'm like, that's where it kind of clicked for me. And I reached out to you. And the one thing that we talked about was like, well, I need more than a year, Brandon. I need like 5 years. I'm like, oh, let's see if I can get that done. And that's a good thing to remember too on this creative stuff, is realizing sometimes in order to kind of weather some storms or kind of get that upside, it's good to have a longer term on those.
Yeah. And especially if you're buying, 85% market value, you need time. And so that 5 years gives you time. 1 year doesn't give you much time. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. So, but there's other strategies. If you get into it in a lease option, there's companies out there that refi in your LLC, and that's a game changer. No more banks, traditional banks. You can use, there's other companies, sources out there now that are game changers.
I know there's a lot of companies out there that do Airbnbs, but they arbitrage, like they rent from the landlord on a long term, right? And then they just make the cash flow on there.
Similar what we're talking about, for sure.
Yeah. That's an interesting strategy, especially, cash flow on, and that's better cash flow too, right? But I think the key is on what you've become really good at is the Airbnb being like in the hospitality business. It's really about customer service. It's not just like, hey, book your Airbnb. And I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, I'm sure.
Yeah, there is. And, we're fairly new into it. So we're learning every day, and reaching out to people like you and just, brainstorming and trying to figure this out. So you got to be plugged in, because it's an ever changing, real estate is ever changing, ever evolving. And, it's tough, but if somebody gets good at buying seller finance, I mean, they're going to be a unicorn, and they'll be able to sell all their stuff. So I think what you're doing is, by teaching that portion of it, is going to help the young wholesaler thrive, for sure.
I've been teaching a lot, and we have a mastermind out here called, nicknamed the Go Givers. Sorry, mastermind. Everyone calls it the Go Givers, and Brian's been part of it. He's the fix and flipper in the group. We have a lot of wholesalers, and so he's very open, willing to tell us, hey, you guys are blowing smoke on my butt with your ARVs and your high prices and stuff. But what's really good is it's nice to have all these different perspectives. We have hard money lenders in there, we have wholesalers in there. But a lot of the wholesalers I've been working with, I started teaching creative real estate to a lot of the guys in town. Carlos Reyes, Sal Shakir, their team, Steve Trang, his team, Max Jimenez and that team, Corey Gary, all those guys. And what's interesting, as they start implementing this, they're like, wow, we're not doing anything different on our marketing, but we're able to get a few more deals. Yeah. And if they don't want to keep it, they can sell it to guys like you that want to keep those type of properties.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I'm not always the most liked in the room with this group,
I
because
love it. No, I
I,
love it.
I always said, I was like, you should not be able to wholesale a house unless you flip the house. Because once
Hmm.
you've done that, then you'd realize, because you don't listen, you can squeeze a lot of money out of a fix and flip guy. And he doesn't make any money, and nobody wants that. Right.
Right. Right.
No good person wants, to make a lot of money while the other guy loses money. It just kills families, and it's not good. So,
Well, I
um,
think market's changing now too. We got to take care of our buyers. Like a lot of wholesalers were pretty greedy, right? And
that's my point.
present company included, but I think we got to realize that long-term relationships and
That's
having
what
those
I,
buyers around.
the biggest thing that, and I've said this for years, the biggest thing is, in a hot market and a not so hot market, you don't need a list of 5,000 buyers. You need 5 guys,
Mm-hmm.
and they will take care of you forever. And you got to have a relationship. There's got to be a time when you make 5, and there's another time you make 20, and you got to be okay with that, because when the
Right.
market changes like it does, and
Mm-hmm.
you've sent out a house to 5 guys, and you've screwed some people because you got 2,000 more from somebody else. I tell you what, that all comes back to haunt you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I buy houses from a few guys, and
Right.
they know me, they trust me, I trust them, and it's simple. But you can't you can't think of it as a selfish thing. You've got to be a team player, build relationships. Like, I've known a lot of the same guys for the whole 22 years,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I still buy from a lot of the guys, and we'll buy stuff from random stuff. But then when the market was hot, it was crazy. I was like, okay, I'd be like, okay, I want that house, and then send me the contract, and then I get a call like, oh, we sold it to somebody else for $5,000. I'm like, take me off your list. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
took my time, to go look at the
Right.
house, drive an hour or whatever there and back. And that's just not how you do business. So I'm plugging to your people out there.
Yeah.
Find
Yep.
somebody who's a real buyer and take care of them, and he'll take care of you for the rest of your life. You don't need
1,800 houses,
Yeah.
1,800 houses. So that's now one of the things too is, we're friends with you office with, I think, over with Spencer Caldwell.
Yeah.
And he has a unique business model on his
Yeah.
wholesaling deals. He charges a flat fee, charges a simple low flat fee, and it's all about volume for him, right?
Yeah. And he does all
So
the, he will sell anybody's house, and he takes care of all the hard work.
mhm.
And, you get a contract signed up from a seller, send it to him, and he'll take care of you. He's
Yep.
just like yourself. You guys are just awesome guys. You have integrity, and, I like people like that. So,
Right. Well, it's also nice to be in the office with the guy that has all those wholesale deals around too.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I mean, I buy a lot from him. Like I said, I have a handful of guys, and that's kind of, they always have decent deals, and that's what it is. So, selling homes as a wholesaler at 85%, that's not seller financing, is just not happening anymore. You're going to have to
no, it's
be down,
changed. Yeah.
you're going to have to be down to the 65 to 75% range. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. So you want,
we just did one over in Mesa. It was a manufacturer home, and the price dropped. I just checked it out. We already sold it. It was last month. But the price dropped in 30 days with $93,000.
wow.
That's a huge drop, right? In 30
That,
days. I'm like, wow.
that's crazy. That's not what you want to see. So,
Well, I think the key is just understanding, take care of the people that take care of you. I think like it's this is a weird time in the market. I feel like we're in this, I'm talking to a lot of wholesalers, and a lot of them are seeing, the hedge funds have stopped buying or kind of slowed tremendously, because a lot of them were just getting a property under contract, and it's a hedge fund, right?
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. So now they actually have to build a buyer's list, or they actually have to work and have a relationship with buyers, or find out what the buyers are looking for, see what's going on, kind of do that customer service approach a lot more now.
Yeah, it is. And I'm getting so many phone calls and text messages. I don't know how, but are you still buying? And it's, a lot of these people just trying to do just that. So,
Right.
And that was my point, is like, you've got to build the relationships from day one, not be greedy, and just be a team player, and, you'll be able to wholesale for the rest of your life. But this market, it weeds out fix and flip guys, it weeds out wholesalers, and, only the strong survive. And it's hard,
I know we always see like you'll see a lot of shrinkage. You see a lot of wholesalers go bye. You'll see a lot of fix and flipper stop. You'll see, I think in these type of markets too, if I remember right, in the boom markets, the number of real estate agents is tremendous.
Oh yeah.
And then the number of licensed agents drop off.
Absolutely.
In
You'll lose. Markets. I think during the pre-crash, I remember hearing we had like 85,000 real estate agents, and I believe it went down to 40 something thousand.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that. That I remember hearing something like that, but it's the same thing. So everybody likes it easy, but
yeah,
you've got to kind of take the approach as an investor, like you're in it for the long run. And I tell you, I've been through so many ups and downs, and I've eaten filet and I've eaten ramen noodles. So it's tough. But if your spirit's strong and you wanna be this investor, then you're gonna have to take that approach that I'm in it for the long run. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I mean, I'm 51 and I'm still working, all the time, and way more than I should. But I want to, now that we're building the Airbnb, I'm enthused and ready to go. But yeah, you're not always going to be, man, I can't wait to work today. And those days you got to grind it, and you got to keep stepping forward. And then all of a sudden, the sunshine comes out again. But it's a dark time right now. It's hard. The strong will survive. And, people like you, these new wholesalers or investors, they need people like you to lean on. And so, you've always been great and very experienced. It's been great.
What's something that's working very well in your business, would you say?
I mean, like I said, we do with the Airbnb business, we do a lot of themed stuff. And so, it's hard.
There are a lot of processes you have to put into place in that type of business.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's because we take them from the nastiest things you've ever seen, some of them, to, they're super nice and ready to go. I mean, I think I sent you the last one we did, the rock and roll house.
That looked great. Yeah. The guitars and everything. Yeah.
Yes. So,
I want to check out the Pine Top house too.
Yeah. That one's, we're doing a little bit more work. I got my crew up there just doing a couple more things, but we love that one. I mean, that's going to be our house. It's a great area. And so we love that, but we bought that from a wholesaler.
Wow.
I mean, I don't do much marketing direct to sellers anymore. I have guys like you take care of that for me and just bring me the deal. It
does. That's a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of, I've talked to a lot of, wholesalers, and they spend a lot of money on marketing. Tons.
They do. And it's, and that's, you've always been very good at taking someone's hand and holding them throughout the process. But a lot of these guys out here that are selling information, they don't do that. They say, hey, here's a course, here's what you do. But it's hard. It's a lot of wholesaling or hand holding, and then it's a lot of money for marketing. And and you've been always really good at that. You've taught me a lot, and you learn from one of the best guys, and it's tough.
Well, the thing I always like to do is I always like to learn. Like I don't think we ever stop learning. So I always like having lunches with you, hanging out and learning stuff from you, what you're doing in your business, your Airbnb business. I think we always got to keep that personal relationship. And it's not, not just for business. It's like, be a real person, be a human being,
Yeah.
care about people sincerely, and I think it goes a long ways in business and life, everything. I think just life's much more enjoyable that way.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, just the process of, getting Airbnbs ready. I mean, we've got, I think, about 8 or so that will be ready in the next 2 months, another 8. And,
Wow.
we're professional movers, designers, just think about
Furniture shoppers, everything else that goes into it, man. Oh
think
my gosh, all the
when
linens and stuff
you
too.
do a new house, think about what that takes, right? Have you ever moved before?
Oh, it's they say that moving's the 3 biggest stressors in life. One
Yeah.
is death of a loved one, second is divorce, third is moving.
Yes. We move
Nothing.
2 or 3 times a month.
Oh,
And so,
yeah.
we're just, like I said, we're learning quickly, but we're building a team to try to help us,
Mhm.
just go through all that, because like I said, we want to build something that is, that we own everything in house and we package and maybe someday sell. So, but
That's a
yeah,
terrific idea. Terrific idea. What's something, if we can wave a magic wand and get something to help you out in your business, or connect you with someone, or connect you with a process, or whatever it is out there, what's something that Brian's business is in need of?
money, we're,
Private money.
yeah,
Mhm.
we've been meeting with some investors and, just to help get involved. And then, we're probably going to be creating a fund, to help
Oh,
purchase
wow.
more. So we're going through those 2 big processes, which, they're overwhelming when you're in your day-to-day business. So,
Mhm.
but those are the 2 primary needs right now, because, when
If
we,
someone had some money, they're just sitting in a CD paying 1% at the credit union or something like that,
yeah,
what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
you can just call me or text me. I mean,
Okay.
you
I'll
can,
put your contact information in the show notes and stuff too.
yeah, yeah, but hard money, uh, lending, private money, same thing.
Mhm.
It's in and out, first deed of trust. It all goes through title. It's easy, and
Mhm.
we can get you 10% on your money that's sitting there doing nothing.
That's
It's
phenomenal.
secured by first deed of trust, and, it's the way to go. So we always need more investors. Like I said, I mean, I don't even know how much we have out. Maybe 25 million right now in real estate, and
Amazing.
it's crazy. So
Before we jumped on the call, we were talking, I think you said you still have, what, 50 flips rolling right now?
yeah, yes,
Jeez.
it's a beast, and just
That's a lot to keep your finger on the pulse of everything, isn't it?
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
moving parts there.
It's the same thing when you're growing. You've been doing it along. I always tell people I fail more than most, and and that's always been my motto. If you fail, just keep moving forward, and then you'll learn. And meeting people
Mhm.
like you, getting involved in a mastermind, or finding a mentor or a coach, like you need those, especially in times like this, but you always
Mhm.
need
Yeah.
them. Sure. So
Well, I hope to get a few properties sent over to you over the next few months here. See what I can
i
find.
hope I hope everyone that's going to see this call sends me all their deals.
That's right.
We've
Email
got a
Brian. I've done a lot of deals with Brian, so he performs, always great to work with. I love to see the rehabs afterwards too. I mean,
yeah,
we sold him some pretty interesting homes that weren't
yeah,
so pretty, that ended up very pretty afterwards.
yeah,
So
yeah. And my thing, when wholesalers send me deals, I always tell them, I'll let you know in 20 minutes.
there you
And
go.
it's
Perfect.
so you've got a house, send me the address, send me the photos, close of escrow date, is it vacant at closing, and if there's any access, and I will let you know a price. I'll tell you a price in less than 20 minutes. I've got a guy that he sits in front of the computer, and he's been with me for 12 years, Phil, and
I know Phil well. Yeah.
he's
Mhm.
awesome, and we'll get you a number right away, and then if our number doesn't work, you can shop it out, and if you can't sell it, come back to me, and we'll do business. So
Sounds great. Well, Brian, I appreciate you jumping on this call, and I'll make sure to get Brian's contact information in the notes here below. And if anyone has any deals, reach out to Brian. If you have any private money that you want to loan and get double-digit returns on, reach out to Brian as well. So,
sure.
and congratulations on that lease option deal. That's amazing to make.
Yeah.
Not only all that cash flow over those years on the Airbnb, but to have a 6-figure pop at the end. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, Brandon, you're awesome. Thank you for caring so much and teaching all the people out there how to do real estate. You've been
awesome.
You've been great in the community. So,
well, thanks so much, Brian. Appreciate it.
All right.
See you, man. Bye.
Thanks.